Chances are throughout the last year you might have seen one of these images showcasing a bunch of really cool Animal Crossing items. Sadly, what you're looking at is not an update for Animal Crossing New Horizons, but instead Animal Crossing Pocket Camp, which gets new content basically every month. And this image showcases all of the new items that they got throughout 2023. When of course, as we all know, New Horizons didn't get any new items in 2023. Which, to be fair, we already knew would be the case, but it doesn't make it any less disappointing. Leave a like on the video though if you wish New Horizons could get even some of those amazing items. Probably one of the most common comments I get on the channel is, why is Pocket Camp still receiving content updates when New Horizons isn't? After all, New Horizons sold so many copies. And whilst I'll never truly be able to explain why Nintendo decided to stop updating New Horizons completely when the game is still so successful and popular, we do know why Nintendo continues to update Pocket Camp with new content. For a start, it's worth considering that the content in Pocket Camp seemingly isn't developed by Nintendo, but a third-party developer who actually creates content for other Nintendo mobile games. So it's not like the New Horizons team themselves is working on the new items for this game, it's actually someone else. Nintendo's focus has always been with their console games, so they aren't actively working on Pocket Camp in any shape or form, it seems like. Just giving their approval for new items in the game so that the developers don't add anything crazy, I guess. Since Pocket Camp, a very successful game, would be one of the third-party developers' priorities, they can put a lot more time and effort into the game in terms of adding new content and such. Another reason is the simple fact of money. Pocket Camp continuously generates revenue for Nintendo and the developer as well. The game is absolutely full of microtransactions, and in fact most of the items you saw in that image that I showed off you could only get through microtransactions, at least easily anyways. The average player wouldn't be able to get all of those items for free without putting in a ton of work, and even then, I'm fairly sure that some items are locked behind microtransactions, but do correct me in the comments section if I'm wrong. At the very least, you'd need to gather a ton of the game's premium currency, which is leaf tickets. You do get quite a lot of free ones, but I'm not sure you'd get enough free ones to get every single premium item in the game. So yeah, whilst Nintendo does make money from you when you actually buy a copy of New Horizons or if you purchase the DLC, that's basically it. All of the content updates for the game were free. Now Nintendo could have added in microtransactions, but it seems like this is something they're against. Now, whilst there are some people who would like to see Nintendo do this, there's also a big crowd of people who wouldn't, so I think Nintendo has steered clear of this on their main consoles for the most part. Whereas for mobile games, this is just a standard practice, so of course the game is going to be full of microtransactions. And the game has definitely generated a lot of revenue through these throughout the years. In a sense, Pocket Camp is also kind of on autopilot, as the events just kind of cycle around each month. Whilst the characters change up and the dialogue and the items and such, the events are basically the same thing each time. You get the fishing tournaments, you get the garden flower events like this one with Tortimer, so it's pretty easy to automate. I would have loved to have seen Nintendo do a live service for this like New Horizons, as they could have fairly easily automated this throughout the months. But sadly, that's not what they decided to do, as it doesn't make them any extra money. Pocket Camp honestly has so many great items that I'd love to see come to New Horizons in the future. One thing that has to be said about Pocket Camp is it's done such an amazing job when it comes to items and customization and such. There's so many interactive items in this game that we should have gotten in New Horizons in some shape or form, but we didn't. I recently learned that a lot of my audience actually really loves Pocket Camp, and I do get why, because the game is still providing them with an Animal Crossing experience in 2024 when New Horizons isn't adding anything new at all. Whilst I do think some of the microtransactions can be a bit much in Pocket Camp, I do feel like New Horizons could have done a bit more if they wanted to still continue to earn money from the game. Even if they just released more DLC packs, I'll never understand why Nintendo decided to do one DLC for the game and then dipped out. Let me know your thoughts about this down in the comment section below though. Do you play Animal Crossing Pocket Camp? Have you ever played it? What are your thoughts on the game? If you made it to the end, be sure to comment Bob's Gang so I know you did. If you enjoyed, be sure to leave a like, and if you haven't already, consider subscribing and turning on notifications for more.